Hello, I'm Trevor Rensler, and for my hydraulic case study presentation, I have located a spool failure in a Rite 12-volt hydraulic power unit. The real question, however, is why did it fail and will it fail again? The equipment that we are taking a look at is owned by Republic Services and is located at the Muskegon location. This trailer's vehicle identification number is 7087 and is one of 3 identical trailers in the fleet. The manufacturer of the trailer is Great Lakes Manufacturing, and this piece of equipment was manufactured in 2017. The gantry and tarper system is manufactured by the Rite Corporation. The type of trailer that this is a roll-off pup trailer with integrated hydraulics. This is necessary as the roll-off trucks of the Republic fleet are not equipped to provide hydraulic power to removable equipment. The serial number of this piece of equipment is Z4WS139835. Being a trailer, the hours and miles are not actively tracked. The complaint that is being reported by the operators pulling the trailer is that the gantry cylinder gets stuck in the upward position, with intermittent operation coming down. When it is malfunctioning, it sounds like the oil is being sent through relief. These issues started after sitting unused for several weeks, as a regular operator had their employment terminated. This issue was not a problem that can or should be ignored, as the gantry is able to go higher than safe and road legal heights, and could take out low-hanging power lines and road signs. There is only one pump in this system, and it is of a fixed displacement omnidirectional gear pump. There is only one actuator in this circuit, a single double-acting hydraulic cylinder with the sole purpose of raising and lowering the gantry. The valving of this hydraulic system is operated by magnetic coil solenoids. This equipment's valve body is only equipped with one spool for one function, but there are options available for a second function. The second function would be to roll out and retract the tarper. However, this specific trailer is not equipped with that function. The pump, valving, and 12-volt motor is all incorporated into one unit, called the hydraulic power unit. In this case, the hydraulic power unit's required fluid type is automatic transmission fluid. As described previously, on the first night of work, the trailer came in for the complaint of not being able to retract. The technician doing the work knew of the problem that the fleet has been recently experiencing with similar trailers in the electronic control boxes that are used to operate the gantry and the tarper. That previous knowledge led the technician to begin his diagnosis by inspecting the magnetic coils for proper operation and wiring integrity. Through his inspection, he found that the wiring was in operational condition and the control box had been previously bypassed and converted to analog controls. What was found to be wrong was an extremely weak magnetic solenoid. This weak solenoid was coincidentally controlling the downward motion of the spool. The technician then proceeded to replace the coil. This repair seemed to allow for the gantry hydraulics to function correctly. The complaint was marked off as completed and the trailer was put back on the ready for service list. However, it did not see service again for roughly a week. Once the trailer was finally utilized en route again, the problems began to show themselves once again. However, the trailer was not needed for some time, so the repair was put on the back burner until the maintenance shop was less busy. This meant yet another week of sitting without use for the trailer. Due to previous experience with the trailer, once the trailer was finally written up for repair, the same technician that worked on it previously was assigned the case. This time, after previously ruling out electronic malfunctions, the technician turned his attention to the operation of the valving and the pump. The technician began by checking the fluid level in the attached built-in reservoir. The technician found the oil level to be slightly on the high side, but in an acceptable range. However, the cap for the reservoir was missing and the reservoir was left open to the elements. The next course of action that the technician performed was to rule out that there was no physical issues with the gantry or hydraulic cylinder. This was done by swapping the lines around and ensuring that it is operating correctly. Unfortunately, there are no published public online service documents or specifications available for this hydraulic power unit from Rite. The technician then chose to inspect the spool and valving. Once torn apart, the inside of the cartridge spool was both corroded and contaminated. The technician cleaned up and knocked the internal plunger loose. Following that, he reinstalled the spool. The technician then ran the gantry up and down a couple times and it worked fine until seizing up once again. An attempt to unseize the spool again was unsuccessful. Having located the malfunctioning component, the technician put in a request for a new valve to be ordered. Unfortunately, the spool is not available for purchase separately, and the hydraulic power unit must be purchased as a whole unit, not as individual parts. In this case, the failure is relatively straightforward. The missing reservoir cap is most likely what made this failure possible. It is impossible to know exactly how long the cap has been missing for, but it is most likely should have been caught on the monthly trailer PM. Unfortunately, regardless of how long the reservoir cap was off, water and dirt were definitely able to enter into the hydraulic system. This opening into the system resulted in abrasives and corrosion to form within the pump and valving. The fluid contamination resulted in the intermittent failure that was then assisted by time sitting, which made the failure permanent. Additionally, the contamination and corrosion wore down the gear pump and introduced metal into the oil. The metal in the oil was caught on a magnet attached to the suction tube and is located in the top right. The bottom right is a small reservoir opening that was left open to the elements and resulted in the fluid contamination. The top left image is a visual sample of what the automatic transmission fluid should look like. Like typical automatic transmission fluid, it is cherry red, tacky, and free of contamination. The bottom left image is a visual sample of the contaminated automatic transmission fluid that I pulled from the contaminated reservoir. It is a very light brown, watery, and full of particles. The correction, as indicated in a previous slide, was that the hydraulic power unit was in need of a new cartridge control valve. Unfortunately, this cartridge valve is not available for purchase apart from the whole unit. Because of this, the whole hydraulic power unit was ordered, as we had no spare scrap unit sitting around to take spare parts of. One of the benefits of replacing the whole unit and not just the cartridge control valve is that it removes the chance of recontamination due to inadequate cleaning before reassembly and flush. It also allowed for the pump to be replaced, also as the damage done to that is unmeasurable due to the lack of public specifications for testing this specific hydraulic power unit. The price of the correction could have been much less if this issue would have been caught sooner on preventive maintenance inspection. Unfortunately, it was not. The parts cost for the job was $1,106.90. The diagnostic section for this case is 4 hours at $30 an hour, making for a diagnostic labor cost of $120. The installation labor section for this case analysis is 2 hours at $30 an hour, making for an installation labor cost of $60, for a total cost of repair and correction of $1,286.90. I owe a special thanks to Republic Services and David Strait, the Fleet Maintenance Manager of the Muskegon branch, for allowing me access to their facility and for providing me with their reported documentation. These are the work orders that were provided by Republic Services and document the repair process from the original incorrect diagnosis and the final diagnosis. This is the work order provided for correction. This concludes my presentation.